was the university?
For me, modern day, you come from a background of insight meditation or mindful practice.
Oh yeah.
And for me, the modern day mindfulness is the work we're doing. Because during your everyday life, instead of being mindful, now I'm walking, or I'm eating, you could be mindful of the state of mind you're in. Like now I am in my egocentric mind, or now I am in my angry mind.
Yeah, it's just another way of being present.
That's
with
right.
whatever's going on.
That's right.
Huh.
So the modern day mindfulness is be conscious or be aware, be mindful of the state of mind that you're in also, rather than just what you're doing, also where you're coming from. Because it's very helpful. If I see that I'm angry and I own that anger, that's not the self being angry. That's just me, and my job is to get angry. And this person did such and such, and I'm angry about it. But it also allows me to drop the anger, because I create that distance from it.
Well, the job thing is key. When you realize, well, someone's doing that job, then you can look at them all as different, as you have been separating them out.
That's right. Let me just explain that a little bit for our viewers.
Yeah.
They may not understand the job thing. So every voice does have a job and a job description. And it's like employees in a company. If you have a company where nobody knows what their job title is, nobody knows what their job description is, nobody knows what the product is, nobody knows who they're working for, you've got a very confused and chaotic company. If you come in with this big mind work and you interview each employee individually, one by one, you say, okay, now your job is to be the controller. So what's your job description? Well, I'm supposed to control things. What do you have to control? Well, I've got to control him. That means Genpo. I've got to control others. I've got to control the environment. I've got to control his emotions. I got a lot of things to control. It's a full-time job. All right, what's your greatest fear? Well, as the controller, my greatest fear would be to lose control. I don't want to lose control. So that would be my greatest fear. Okay, so your job is to control. Have you received much praise for the job you do of keeping things in control? Well, no, I haven't. In fact, the self has never thanked me for all the effort of controlling everything. Well, then what would it take for you to feel comfortable to let go of control? Well, I'd have to know he's safe, because my primary function as a controller is to keep him safe, to keep him protected, you know, from himself, from other people, from other things, from his own emotions. And also to control situations so the world is protected from him too, because he's a dangerous guy. He can be, he can be out of his mind. Okay, so knowing what the job is, then I'm able to do my job better as a controller. I'm able to control and know that that's my job, and I have a right to control.
It has a purpose.
It has a purpose. And so as we start to interview all these employees, we find all of a sudden the company is operating with harmony, in harmony, and with a state of balance and a state of equanimity. And all of a sudden, there's a greater purpose to life, and we start to understand and appreciate our life, know why we're here, what we're here to do, and pretty soon we find even who the CEO of the company is. So we can speak to the CEO of the company and say, well, I'm really the CEO. All these other voices think they're the boss, but I'm the boss. I'm the CEO. They work for me. So what's your role as the CEO? Well, as the boss, my job is to make sure everybody knows what they're doing and to take responsibility for the whole company. That's my job. I was hired as the CEO by, let's say, the board of directors or the owner of the company, and my job is to make sure the company is operating at its best and most functional place, right? So it's operating optimally. That's my job, and I take responsibility. And if something goes wrong, it's my responsibility. If something's not happening, that's my responsibility. I don't pass the buck. I don't blame anybody else, because I'm the one ultimately responsible for the company. So when we find the CEO, it's like finding the apex of the triangle. And that CEO is a very compassionate CEO, a benevolent kind of leader, who is operating with the best wisdom of knowing everybody's job, and also the wisdom of knowing what I call the transcendent, that the company itself is just really an agreement. That we have a legal agreement that we're a company. In other words, this very vehicle.
To keep the operation
going.
Well, the minute you separate, or the minute you identify the job, then I find that there's a jump to that. You get the big overview right away.
Absolutely.
Because you're just not connected with it. Well, fantastic explanation. I think you've given some tools that people could take with them immediately. So I've taken your time here. Is there something else you'd like to say quick here in closing?
Well, you know, we are live every Sunday, Mountain Time,
Oh, yes.
10 a.m. I do a live talk. We sit, meditate together. People can tune in at 10 or they Mountain Time, or 10:30. From 10:30 to 11:30, on Sunday morning, I work with a group of usually about 100 to 150 people, and the people watching it live get to participate. There's
Just
a little
like
chat
this
room.
experience this weekend. So
Absolutely.
it's bigmind.org, correct?
That's
And I
right,
can put that up on
bigmind.org.
the
Yeah, live
article.
TV. There's also what we call ZenI on the same bigmind.org, and there's backlogs of thousands of hours of work where they can start to tune in and get acquainted
Okay.
with my work. There's also DVDs. I've got 5 books out.
And it's all on the website.
It's
so-
all on the
yeah.
website.
Mhm.
So that would be what I would
Yes.
say. And then there's events. We've got a big event coming up in Denver, Colorado in August with Bill Harris and Ken Wilber,
Mhm.
a great philosopher, and my older Dharma brother, Bernie Glassman Roshi. We also have another big event coming up in New York in September. I've got other events in
Busy
Houston.
fall.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
fall. So
All right. Well, thank you very much.
you're very welcome. Thank you.